Hey guys, what's up? This is Wes, and I'm a commercial photographer based out of Phoenix, Arizona. I'm also in the medical field, and on the 24th, which was a Wednesday of last month, something happened that changed my life forever. And I will let you guys decide whether or not it's good or bad. I already made my decision, but let's go on. So I was leaving the hospital, going to another hospital, because I'm also in the medical field, and I got a correspondent through my job telling me that I needed to go to Gilbert. And our phones kind of work like the chirp service, like a walkie-talkie. And I reached over to answer the chirp because the phone is kind of connected to the dash, right? And I noticed somebody in the lane to my left was merging over, and if I didn't get out of the way quick enough, I was going to get hit by them. So I swerved out of the way, swerving to the next lane over, and I hit the back of a F-150 truck. As soon as I hit the truck, I felt my hands fling from the steering wheel, and they both slapped the windshield so hard that my left hand almost went through the windshield. There's a definitive crack in the windshield, and it really scared me. But once the car came to a stop, I noticed the airbags were out, and I heard my iPhone. This is why I will always rock with iPhone, period. It's Team Apple for the rest of my life. It said, I noticed that you may have gotten to a crash. We're going to call your emergency contacts. Do you agree? Or something. It asked me to say yes or no. I couldn't answer, but it said we're going to call anyway. So it started texting and calling these people. I didn't get into contact with them. I didn't speak to anybody. Maybe they hung up. I'm not sure exactly what happened because I was out of it. I noticed that my face hit my mouth hit the airbag, and it pushed my teeth back, and it kind of swole up the inside of my nose. It's weird. Like, it's the inside of my nose. I couldn't breathe out of my nose for like about a week after that. And there's blood all over my shirt. There's blood on my hands. There's blood coming out the top of my head and out of a small cut on my left leg. My left shoulder was in so much pain because right before the impact was made, I swerved over to the right, and the way I hit was like, I guess, left shoulder first into everything, and it felt horrible. And I'm trying to get out the car. I'm like trying my best to get out. The door is jammed shut because the fender pressed against the door hinge so it wouldn't open up, and the car is filling up with smoke. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is something out of a movie. This is so dramatic, and I'm wondering whether or not I'm going to get out of here. I'm not. Obviously, there was no flames. I see now that there was no flames, but at the time, only thing I can concentrate on what was going on inside of the car. You know, I don't know where the smoke was coming from. Maybe the radiator burst. I don't know what it was, but I knew I had to get out of that car as soon as possible. Everything in the car was just like mangled and just shaped differently from like the normal wear and tear of a car. So what I did, I tried to crawl over the front seat to get into the back part because it was a moving van, or not a moving van, it was a minivan, and all the seats were down in the back. I put pressure onto my left hand, and I dropped down. I couldn't even put any pressure on it. And that's when I started to notice that there was blood coming from like another source. I'm like, where in the hell is it coming from? I wiped my nose, and I couldn't see where the blood was coming from. So I reached for the sliding glass door on the passenger side, and it would not open. I had to turn around and unlock the door to get myself out of the car. And once I got out of the car, I kind of rolled out, and I laid on the ground, and the liquid coming from the car was so hot. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was the radiator fluid. And I'm laying in radiator fluid, and I'm like, I gotta get up because, for one, I'm on the freeway, and I'm low to the ground, and there's a possibility, on the ground, there's a possibility somebody may not see me, and they're gonna run me over. So I try to get up, and I'm noticing that like my vision is impaired, and it felt like I was blinking. I kept seeing like the light go in and out, like the scene just go in and out, and I kind of fell back down. But at this time I was on the side of the freeway, and I'm thinking to myself, someone's going to come, because there's a lot of cars on the freeway. I can hear them as I'm driving by. So I looked towards that direction, and it was just people with the cell phones out. It was so crazy. People were just trying to get that 15 minutes of fame. And to make a long story short, they take me to the hospital, and they treated me for my wounds. And I no longer work in the medical field, because my job was contingent on me driving. Because I went to different hospitals, I picked up lab reports and things of that nature, and it was just something that I did. And at first I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, but I remember that by taking on that job, I was kind of taking off, or putting my dreams to the side, my goals, dreams, and aspirations, and putting them all to the side to satisfy myself with a consistent paycheck. And I noticed that even though I was getting money, pretty decent money, on a bi-weekly basis, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and everything that I was working for the last 15 years was getting further and further in the rear view. So at first I thought I was losing it all. I thought that I was afraid. I thought that my life was over. And I come to the conclusion that if I would have continued at that job, my life would have been over. So I'm basically reintroducing myself as Wes the photographer. I'm back.